Good morning. How is everyone this Saturday morning or Friday afternoon if you're in the US? I'm here for a quick carnivore chat today with Carnivore Ray, who, is very well known in the carnivore community. He's over in the US. I'm going to bring him on to speak with us today because Ray will be joining us here in Melbourne, Australia next month. And I'm very excited to have him, Dr. Robert Kultz, Bella, and so many other amazing carnivores from all over the world come and speak with us in Melbourne. So if you're interested in coming along, link is in my bio. However, today, jumping on with Ray to have a quick chat about his story and excited to talk about the event next month. So give me 1 second, I'll get him on. I've had a really interesting week.
Hey,
Hello.
Melissa.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
For Saturday morning.
I know it's good to see you again. Opposite ends of the world. It's 4:30 in the afternoon here.
I know, Friday afternoon. Where are you exactly in the US?
I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh,
So
lovely.
yeah, it's good. I love it. It's good.
Did I tell you I'm coming to, did I tell you I'm coming to Tennessee?
No, when
I'm coming for meat stock in May.
meats? Who puts
There's
on
an,
meat stock?
there's an event called Meat Stock Tennessee, the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountains?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen. I think Courtney Luna and
Yes.
Bella. Do they do that?
Bella, Sean
Yeah,
Baker, um, um, Ken Berry, and there's a
yeah.
whole heap of carnival speakers. Are you close to there?
Close. I mean, it's Tennessee. It's nothing's too far away. I'll have to make it a point to go this year,
Yes,
and because there's so
definitely.
many people I want to meet.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming for that event. I'll be there for a whole week.
Yeah. O- Okay. All right. I'll have to make it a thing.
I think we'll see you before then anyway in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes, awesome. So, for those who don't know who you are, Ray, can you give a little introduction about you and your story and how you got into carnivore?
Oh, oh yeah. Carnivore Ray. That cracks me up hearing that. But I'm just a very average guy. I really am just an average dude. There's nothing unique about me. I just heard about this crazy way of eating one day and had a lot of extra weight. It's not why I figured I'd do carnivore, but it was a possible incentive to get me to do it. I'm 295 pounds and I've got knee pain that I've had for well over a decade, and I struggle mentally with mental health, and I hear Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson talking about the carnivore diet, and you got Joe who's saying, lost a bunch of weight really quickly. I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. But the part that got me was Jordan Peterson talking about how beneficial it was for his overall well-being, but his mental health and as well as his daughters. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't think this is healthy. I think this might be one of the dumbest diets I've ever heard of. But I'm gonna try it. What do I have to lose? And I start thinking that I'm gonna fail. Figured I'd have a cheat meal, have some pizza and ice cream a few days in, but literally 3 days in, I get up out of bed and I have zero knee pain. And I always have to remind myself when I tell the story because I recognize it sounds fake. Like, it really doesn't sound, it just sounds like snake oil to me. But I get out of bed, I don't have any knee pain, which for me, I've woken up the last 12, 13 years with at least some sort of knee discomfort. No pain. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not. I start doing a couple squats, like, is it no pain? I'm thinking, this is nuts. I go start brushing my teeth, getting ready for the day. I feel skinny. I'm not skinny. I've lost, I don't know, 5 pounds. I'm still, 290 pounds. And I'm like, dang, I feel good. And life just kind of felt possible. It didn't feel like I was surrounded by water, or it felt like life was worth living, within these, this very short time frame. And so that was enough for me to keep going. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Fast forward 30 days, and I'm down 35 pounds, and I still feel great. My knee pain's still gone. I feel what I think humans are supposed to feel like. I feel really, really good in comparison to how I was feeling. And I'm thinking to myself, this is this is nuts. Like I gotta tell somebody. It's like I experienced something really good. I gotta tell somebody. And so I made a video, not thinking anything would come of it. I posted it to TikTok, which I've never been a TikToker. I hate social media. And I posted it to Instagram, my personal Instagram. And TikTok kind of just ran with it, had some million something views. And I remember thinking, that's crazy. Like a million people saw this video. And a lot of people had questions. You know, this guy lost weight really quickly. How do you do that? And so I just tried to answer them the best as I could
Yeah.
and just kept doing that. And TikTok started growing and got to a point where it kind of dawned on me, hey, maybe I should share this on Instagram too. And so I did last February. I started a new account and just started sharing carnivore videos. And what
Mhm.
made me keep posting, because I really don't think the world needs to hear more of my voice. I think as many people, you know, that enjoy carnivore content, there's probably 10 times as many that get just irate at the sight of me. Uh, I've had thousands of people reach out to me and say, and whether this was meeting them in person in passing at an airport, or they DM me, or they leave a comment, and hey, my wife and I saw your video, you know, 6 months ago. We've been doing it for 3 months. I'm down 40 pounds. Her back pain of, you know, 10 years is gone. This is the best we've ever felt. Or I've had eczema for all my life, and, you know, this is the cleanest my skin's ever been. Or I've had this autoimmune issue, and this is the most functional I've ever been. And it just got to this point where I'm like, this really changes people's lives. I'm thankful for my experience, but losing weight you can accomplish on just about any diet.
Yeah.
And knee pain, you know, I just kind of thought that was normal, and you know, a lot of folks struggle with that, but there was nothing truly life altering for me. I didn't have some severe disease that I'd been struggling with all my life, but seeing folks with that story and seeing them functionally feel better, I think I would be doing the world a disservice of not talking about it.
Yes. Oh, I resonate so much with that because I say that all the time. I would never want to have an experience like this and not share it with other people.
Mm.
So, you know, we're here sharing experience, sharing our story, sharing our experiences, and that's what I think a lot of people are out there wanting to do because they feel so amazing that they want everybody else to feel the same. And at my event last year, it was such a beautiful energy in the room because when you get people together who feel like that,
Yeah,
the place just has this, you know, beautiful buzz to it. Like it was just electric, you know. And I think that's what people love about coming together with people who are doing the same as them, that they
yeah,
can also, you know, relate to them, align. You know, they're all very aligned in their thinking. And some of them feel very isolated and on their own because they don't have people around them who understand them or, you know, are doing what they're doing. So they feel a little alone. So
yeah,
that's why I create these events to bring people together
yeah,
and make them feel at home. And that's a lot of them felt like that also.
yeah.
Interestingly, with your story, I'll share something. I'll share something that I actually received last night. A message from a man here in my home city in Adelaide, Australia, and he's an older man, has you know, adult kids, and he's been overweight from, trying to remember the story, overweight, heap of inflammation, knee pain his whole life,
Hmm.
and he got to a point where he just couldn't do anything about it, felt really down on life, you know, just continued to put on weight. And one evening when he was feeling like that, he received a video, was randomly sent to him from his brother, of Dr. Chafee speaking about carnivore. It was just very random. He said he watched that video, and from that night, he said, I've got, you know, nothing else I can do here. I've got to try this. And from that moment, he started carnivore, and literally overnight, just like you kind of said, it was very, very quick. That
Mm.
pain that he was feeling disappeared.
Yeah,
And he's very, very new onto carnivore, but he is already feeling the positive impact of that on this knee pain he'd had
yeah,
for, you know, and you kind of can't make those stories up, you know. That's the
yeah,
truth. People are having those kind of experiences. You've got people like Dave Mack, who's going to be at the event also, and he's interviewed over, you know, a thousand carnivores with so many different
mm.
stories about, you know, what they've experienced having gone into this. So I think that's the beauty of, you know, having this kind of experience and having technology that can, you know, allow us to share, but also for people to reach us and hear our
Yeah.
stories, you know?
I couldn't agree more about just how special it is you putting on these events because it's lonely doing carnivore. You know,
Yeah,
you might see a video that's, you know, got a lot of views or likes and think, "Oh wow, there's a lot of carnivores." There's really not. I
yeah,
Not only that, embarking on this journey, you can just about assume that you'll be doing it alone, regardless of what part of the world you're in.
yeah,
Chances are you don't have a buddy that's doing it with you or a girlfriend
yeah,
that's doing it with you. Or not only that, if anybody has a similar experience as I did, you've got everybody, their mom, their dog, their aunt, their cousin telling
yeah,
you how dumb it is to do. And to their credit, I acknowledge that it's coming from a place of care.
yeah,
The only the only part that makes me go, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to you, is that when I was overweight or had all of these you know issues going on, you never said anything when I was stuffing my face, stuffing my gullet with ultra processed foods. Why do you care now? Why do you feel the need to be vocal now? You know, you gave me your leftover, you know, what you didn't finish at dinner before when I
yeah,
was clearly severely overweight, but now that
yeah,
I'm just eating meat, this is an thank you for your concern. I know you genuinely do care, but it's not received in this moment. And so for folks to connect online, that's great, but to connect in person, it's very special what you do. You have an incredible heart. I think about planning an event. Never done that. I'd probably die. There's no way. I don't know how people. I don't know how you do. I look at that and I go, that sounds awful. I'd rather train for an ultra marathon, and there's no way in hell I would ever do an ultra marathon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, you have to think a certain way. And I've been doing events for a really long time now. But yeah, at the last event, it did feel like I had a million tabs open in my head, coordinating it all. So yeah, I know a lot of the speakers loved being able to meet people who knew of them through seeing them online and watching them, which is great. But yeah, just the people were so happy to be connected with others who are doing the same thing
Yeah,
because they do feel very isolated. I even have people around me in my own life, the closest people to me, you know, who still question what I do. But and like I say to even my clients and other people who I speak with who are doing this, it's like just lead by
mm,
example and do what you're doing, live how you're living, and let them come to you eventually when they see how you're looking, feeling, you know, the vibration you put out, the kind of person you are, how you're living, and let them feel that, and then they'll come back and ask you, what are you doing? Oh,
yeah,
maybe I need to try this too.
yeah,
And you know, I get a lot of women coming to me asking me for support, and you know, it's and obviously say, you know, this is not a diet so you can just lose weight. We're getting you healthy. We're getting you healthy first, and naturally you're gonna lose weight. You know,
mhm,
and a lot of people I don't think even realize how unwell they feel until they start to feel really great,
mm,
and then they realize, oh my gosh, I'm not going to go back to that ever
yeah,
because you didn't feel well. You know.
yeah, yeah. That's that's so true.
Mm.
I I'm curious your thoughts on this. Some carnivores disagree with me. Some agree. So I'm the type of person that I don't think that you know everybody has to be carnivore. I don't even think that humans were made to be carnivore. I don't think that's how we were created. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we live in a world where so many of our foods have changed, and then
Yeah.
on top of that, you know, I'm talking fruits and veggies that have been modified. There's things that have been added to them, and in response, people have developed autoimmune gut issues, things like that. And then on top of that, we have all these ultra processed, you know, foods where meat's one of those foods that largely hasn't changed. Sure, you know, some are pumped full of antibiotics or steroids or hormones or whatever, but nutritionally, largely it hasn't changed as much as a lot of these other foods. And so I think to myself that, okay, if somebody, first of all, if you thrive on a well, you know, balanced, diverse diet, do that. It's way more fun. You know, if there was, I always say, if there was a cheese and bread diet and I felt this good, I would do that diet over carnivore. Carnivore's great when everything's great and you're enjoying it, but it
Yes.
doesn't stay that way. Like it. sure, you might feel good indefinitely, but it can get just kind of boring. And so with that, I always tell people, try it. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you absolutely love it. Maybe you say you'll do it for the rest of your life. Maybe you do it for a day and think, I just can't do it. I'm gonna have some M&Ms, or I'm gonna have, fruit or whatever. And at the minimum, try it. You're not going to derail your life by trying it for a month. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Well, okay. My thoughts are, firstly, I'm not a huge advocate for jumping straight from the standard American, standard Australian diet, for example, straight into carnivore.
Hmm.
I think there has to be a way, you have to ease your way into it. And there's a certain process I put people on to do that, because otherwise they're either feeling really terrible in that process, they're having some side effects, or they're just binging and like they're restricting, and then they're binging because they can't, because it's about a behavior and a habit change. So I would usually get them. It's a process to get onto carnivore in the
Yeah.
first place. Some people will disagree with me there, but that you can jump straight into it. But I'm not a big advocate for that.
Hmm.
Especially when you've got, I've got a lot of women who, are overweight and eating whatever they want. I just don't think it's a good idea to jump straight into it. So we ease them into it in a certain way. But I agree with you. Do it for a certain amount of time and see how you feel. Have your own experience, make up your own mind on what you do. I'm not here also telling people to do carnivore forever. It worked really well for me. I feel amazing. I wouldn't want to eat any other way. If I want to choose to have something else, it's also my choice. And I can try that and feel the contrast in how my body responds, how my body feels, and how it looks. I know what certain foods do to me and how it makes me feel, or if it might puff my face up if it were a rice or a carb. It's just really about empowering the person to have the experience, make up your own mind,
Yeah.
stay on it if you want to for life. I would say though that most people who try carnivore really don't want to go off of it. I'm the type of person that I didn't really have a food addiction or anything like that. So I'm not craving carbs, I'm not craving sugar, or I'm not craving anything really apart from meat.
You're perfect. We get it.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
now that it's been long enough, you just don't want to really go back. And that contrast is too far. There's too far a contrast in between feeling great and then feeling crap.
Yeah.
So I just won't do it. But somebody asked me this yesterday, like, is this something you stay on forever? Like, you can do whatever you want. The idea is you've got some things you need to work on, that you need to change, that you need to heal. And I would say, yeah, give it a good 3 months at least. But if you've stayed on it really well for 3 months, you won't want to go back, because
No.
you feel so incredibly amazing in so many ways. It's like alcohol, right? Put it this way. When I had my real body transformation, I was mostly keto. And then after that, I went to carnivore. And then for about a year after that, I was eating so well. I made really great choices every day in my daily rituals, practices. But every so often, I would go out and have a drink. And that was just a social habit that I was still, doing. And I would say to myself, why would I choose to feel so amazing and do everything to feel great every other moment of my life and go out and socialize and think I needed to have a drink? So, so it's like the same with food. Why would you eat like this? And by the way, I don't drink anymore, but why would you live like this, feel like this, and then go to the one thing that makes you not feel good, or makes you put on weight, or makes your knees hurt, your joints hurt? Why would you go to a food that does that for the sake of diversity or options or just socializing?
Yeah.
But totally personal choice. You want to go back to a bit of keto? I sometimes add in a little bit of, cucumber. As a kid, I loved cucumber. It does nothing to me. There's no issue. So and I'm a Greek background, Greek salad, it's something that we've grown up with. I have no issue with it. If I feel like a little bit of it, I'll have it. But it's not like all the time. I eat mostly meat.
Yeah. I love it. No, I couldn't agree more about, somebody easing their way into it. I take another approach too, because I think it just depends on the person. I'm not good at easing into things. This is a strength and a massive weakness that I have is I'm an all or nothing person. When I'm
Yes.
on in life, I'm on. Nothing can stop me. And when I'm
Yes.
off, there's not a worse lazy human being on this planet. And so for me, like dieting or exercise or whatever, career,
Yes.
I have to dive into it. Most other
Yes.
people don't operate that way. The rare person that does, I would say, hey, yeah, dive right in. But those that are just logical and rational people, it
Yes.
tends to just be, hey, ease your way into it. You don't have to go cold turkey. It's extremely hard.
It's really hard. Changing behaviors and habits is really hard for people.
Mhm.
I'm going to acknowledge that. I've got a lot of people I work with that um, need to be eased into it. However, when your why is strong enough, so if they've got a strong enough reason why they actually need to do something like carnivore, they usually jump in because they've got no other option. It's like they have to do this. There's no other
Yeah,
way. So
right.
they might jump straight in.
Yeah,
But, if someone's come to me with a bit of inflammation and they're overweight and they just want to get healthy and well and live vibrantly and about longevity and strength, then yeah, we can ease them into it in a certain way.
yeah,
I agree. I agree. And I've seen and experienced, people around me who've had food addiction. And I haven't had that kind of behavior. I haven't
yeah,
felt like that. So I don't really know what that's like, I
yeah.
guess.
It's not fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Food's
Yeah.
always been my source of comfort, and
Mm,
it's a battle. Everybody's
yeah.
got their battles or their vice, and food. It's a tough, yeah, easy day in age to use food as a way to comfort yourself, and it also really sucks
Mm,
because you can derail your life by
yeah.
just being a glutton and overindulging in trash. You'll shorten your life. You'll have a negative impact on those around you, your kids, your spouse, your our eating habits. We wouldn't think they'd have such an impact on those around us. They do.
Mm,
If I'm eating
mm,
junk and I always feel like junk and I'm pissed off and the slightest thing sets me off, and
yeah.
that's largely due to my diet, it's not fun to be around me. Or if
Mm,
I'm always tired or I'm lazy and buddies always want to hang out, but I tell them no because I have no energy or whatever. I don't have kids. Let's say I did, and I can't keep up with a 3-year-old that's running around. Our
yeah.
diet, if only it was as simple as it only impacted me. It can, for better or for worse, impact those around us. It's
Yeah.
a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, absolutely. I've got my own kids, and I remember, say in my 30s, no, in my 40s, I was so tired. I had no energy. I couldn't run after my kids very well. I couldn't get upstairs without being puffed out.
Mm.
This is this has changed the way that I actually feel like I'm 18 again. I feel like that's what it does for me from an
That's amazing.
energetic kind of perspective. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love
Um,
it.
all right, we said we would do a quick half an hour catch up, and we're almost there.
Okay.
So we could talk for ages, but you are coming to Australia next month for Carnivore Live in Melbourne. We're really excited to have you there. We'll be surrounded by not only some incredible experts in the field, having some amazing conversations, sharing stories, and just empowering people to, change their lives, however they can. And if it's by trying what we're sharing with them, then brilliant. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. It's about my events really are about empowering people to learn, absorb information, hear other people's stories, and then go home and feel empowered to do something for themselves. That might change their lives. So that's what this will be all about.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm excited.
yeah,
I'm
very,
honored to be a
very,
part of it.
very excited to have you there. Yeah, very excited.
Awesome. Melissa, I
All right,
appreciate you.
appreciate you too. Great to see you.
Likewise.
We'll speak soon.
All
Thanks
right.
so much. Thanks everyone for joining. See you later.